I want that on film.
Okay, Jesse, you ready?
I'm ready.
I don't think that'll help.
So we had just talked about scaling the panorama house.
Hey, make sure the mic is
And-
on because I turned it off because you turned it on.
Thank you. Yeah, it's on. So we just talked about scaling the panorama house where you went down 4 stories to save someone's life, like
Yeah.
Superman, and
More Spider-Man.
or Spider-Man, and she lived, right? That was the end result. The end of the story was she lived.
You saved her.
Say that again?
The girl that you saved from the pool in the panorama house, she lived.
Oh, sure.
Good,
I wouldn't let her die.
good end to the story.
Yeah.
So another.
But we did evict her just shortly after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saved
We
your life.
didn't
now.
want that to happen again.
You were
Go
gone.
drown somewhere else.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You can evict a person
She was drunk.
because she was.
Oh, yeah, she was inebriated, and
Safety issue, I'm sure.
jumped into the pool and tried to drown herself, and we just evicted her.
Okay.
Great. So
Next question.
good end to the story. So
Jesse, ask him Kim's question.
oh, I will. I was going to do that after Katie's question.
Okay, Katie's question, sorry.
Yeah. So Kim's question. Just be looking forward to it. So let's see.
I think Jesse should get in the camera when he asks these questions and look at the camera.
You want me
I don't want him to be in the camera
You
with
want me to
me.
come over here for a few moments?
Is he in? Judy?
But when he says a really bad answer, you have to look directly into the camera.
Okay, Jesse, go.
Okay. All right, so let's see what other questions from Katie we haven't covered. We talked about basketball, right? We did that yesterday. You liked helping teenagers in the ward. We talked about some of those. You gave some people in the ward jobs, some boys from the ward.
Jeez.
Painting. She wanted to ask about that. Hear some more about that.
That's good.
Just how many young men?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, how many?
How many young men?
Yeah, a lot of young men either worked for me on the outside of the building or inside vacuuming floors or
I vacuumed floors in the panorama house.
did you?
Me too.
Okay, and lots of other things. I for a long time ran the garage downstairs, and all of my boys I hired to drive the cars, park the cars down there.
He'd see
And,
it, so he didn't hire me.
So the only one that wouldn't allow to drive the cars was Mike.
He's a
There
smart man.
There were several of them that really drove the cars crazy, drove me crazy when they were driving the cars because they really would go around. You had 5 floors and they'd go round and round and round and you could hear them squealing the tires.
Yeah, it was a different kind of concrete surface. Like now in parking lots, they do kind of a rough surface, but that was the shiny concrete, and so you could hear for 5 floors of circling going.
That's your excuse.
It was,
Remember the rat?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sounds like a story coming. What's this
You want to
rat?
tell them about the rat?
You want to take the hot seat? Talk about the rat?
No.
No, we're interviewing
No,
him.
we're gonna leave the rat out of this.
All right. So, okay, great. Let's see. Okay, I think we've gotten to Kim's question now. That's a very important one. Why do you stink so much?
Well, it could be that I only shower once every 2 months.
That would be it.
Great.
I don't know.
Since she fired that shot at you, do you have something to ask for Kim to the camera?
No,
Okay,
I don't like her, is the only thing.
that's not true.
Because she's always telling me I stink.
All right, now we have some questions from my dad. Let's see.
Who's he?
Well, he's right there. Remember
Oh
him?
no.
We talked about him yesterday. You want
Do I really have to answer questions about him?
not about him, but from him.
Okay.
We already talked about him. So he says, can you tell us the story of getting the Isetta?
Isetta.
The motorcycle car.
Why did you get that? Where did you get it?
Mike, where did I get that? Rob? I don't know. It just came home.
I don't know, we used to deliver papers in it.
Yeah, we did, didn't
We
we?
put all the Panorama House papers in all those buildings in that thing.
I said anybody that
Tell
doesn't.
them
Yeah.
the physical configuration of the
The
car.
front door opened this way.
The front.
Yeah, the whole
front.
front
The
of
whole
the car.
front came
The
up.
car was a door.
And that
Was a
only
door.
had 3 wheels.
It only had 3 wheels, 2 in front, 1 in the back.
Two in the front.
Yeah,
Nice.
Made by BMW.
made by BMW.
Wait, was it
Right
made
after
by
the
them or
war.
you
No,
guys?
right after World War II.
Yeah,
No, it's an old.
and we'd stuff papers in there and then we'd pile ourselves in and try to make the way up the hill.
300cc motorcycle, BMW motor.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah,
And
Where did you
I
get
remember Rob and Leon and I in the front seat. There's only one seat.
Yeah.
And there was enough room for the 3 of us in it. But it was like a refrigerator door. The front was a refrigerator door.
Yeah.
So it opened and the steering wheel moved out of the way
With the door.
with the door.
and the shifter was on the left side.
It was just like a BMW, you know, like what Dan had when he was down here.
No, I don't think so.
It was actually manufactured by a refrigerator company.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a BMW.
Yeah, they
BMW.
used the BMW motorcycle engine.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
So you don't know where you got that? Why? Was it just for routes, do you think?
Yeah,
that-
saving gas.
Okay.
Saving.
As I remember, it was in the garage, and I bought it from somebody, but I can't remember who. It was in the garage.
The Panorama House garage.
Yeah, yeah.
Then he sold it to Fred Allen.
Okay.
Remember?
Did I?
Yeah, you sold it to Fred.
Wouldn't be surprised.
He was a mechanic.
Yeah.
So,
So anybody that wants to see it, this is what it looked like.
Yep.
Whoa.
That's it. Only it was
Yeah,
green.
that's it?
Oh,
it's so cute.
Yeah.
Pass that around.
It's like
Show the camera.
Italian.
Yeah, show the camera.
Yeah, that's it.
funny.
Show the camera.
Looks like Mario's.
Yeah, show the camera. Great idea.
Is it in the picture?
Yeah, you can see it.
I thought you meant like the car that you guys made.
Down,
that had
down,
the
down.
Super
There. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no, that's the Honduretti.
And they can
Wow,
Google
it's
it.
so
Okay, you could ask him the
Okay.
next question while I...
So, my dad also asked how you became a wrestling referee and if you had an interesting story about that you can remember.
You sound like you already know it.
I don't know how I became a referee for wrestling, but I knew that David was a wrestler, and I just followed him along, and somehow or other I got involved in it and refereed for a couple of years. It was a fun time.
Yeah.
Did you referee any of your kids that were in wrestling?
No, I couldn't referee any of the kids, no. But I refereed a lot of young men that were involved in wrestling.
Great.
But David was involved in wrestling, and was a pretty good wrestler.
And Bill.
Yeah, old Bill was, yeah.
Bill was a monster.
He was. Bill Dixon was a foster Indian student that came to live with us. I have to tell you this, every year Janet would say to me, I don't want him back. He'd go back up to Alaska. And Janet would say, I don't want him back. I don't want him back again. And sure enough, he'd come back, and he lived in the basement with who?
The boys.
With Mike. Yeah.
So,
He and Mike were a real pair.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, you can bet, right?
Then you had John and Claire.
Oh dear. Do I have to go back there and talk about that?
No, we're moving on to another question.
Okay. So, okay. My dad, this is my dad's last one. He says, ask him to describe why and how he tore down the garage and built a basketball court.
Duh.
Well, we.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, duh.
I was coaching the LDS Fifth Ward basketball team, and we had a garage. We had our home, and then we had Eric's home right next door, which we bought later on. But I had all these boys that I was mentoring and trying to coach, and we had the garage in between. I had a concrete surface, we had the garage in between, and we just needed more room. And I can't remember who I had to weld up the...
Bob Barrett did.
Bob Barrett. Oh, that's right. He was living next door.
Yep.
And he welded up the posts for the basket, the hoops, and the backboard, and we put it all together. And Bob and Bill, the sons of Bob and Joanne Errett, played basketball with us, and so we had some really wild games out in the back, didn't we?
Yeah, and on Sundays.
No,
Yeah,
never on
yeah,
Sundays.
Yes, because that was when it used to be priesthood early morning and then Sunday school mid-morning, and then everybody'd come over to the house. Bless us, all of them would come over to the house.
Oh, dear.
And we'd play basketball all afternoon and then shower downstairs
And the
go
garbage
back
men.
for sacrament meeting in the afternoon.
The garbage men would come and
And the
collect
garbage men, we played basketball with the garbage men.
Yep.
The garbage men.
Of course.
You guys are all telling stories that I don't know anything about.
Oh, you,
And all the neighbors. And I have to just add that I saw this question earlier, and I don't even remember a garage. I didn't know there was one there when we...
Well, that was when we first moved there.
yeah.
You were probably just,
I will
Yeah.
even-
yeah. How old were you when we moved